Hello everybody, my name is Pixie People. I'm bad with intros, so let's get right into it. First, let's do some explaining. This is going to be a bit weirder than my other what ifs, because I don't know the Dragon Ball characters, but I know what the TV show is and how the timeline works. I just don't really know how the characters would react to what I'm doing. So it's going to be a little less character in-depth. Basically like a different YouTuber. He's pretty popular in the what if scene. But it's not going to be like that. If you're wondering, it's not going to be like that. It's just going to be Yamcha getting stronger, but not too strong. So let's get right into it. So we start our story with Yamcha chilling with Powar. Powar talks to Yamcha about, do you still want to go to Goku's wedding with Chi-Chi? But Yamcha just thinks, yeah, of course, Powar. Well, we're about, I don't know, 2 minutes late. Really, Powar? You're telling me we're 2 minutes late? Alright, let's go. Then Yamcha and him just go driving on Yamcha's bike. I think he has a bike. If he doesn't, I don't care. So he gets to Goku's wedding. He takes a seat. That is until after the ceremony, until Goku just outright touches Yamcha's shoulder. He turns around to ask Goku, "What's up? You wanna fight? What? Let's fight." "I don't know, Goku. I'm not that strong anymore. You beat Piccolo while I lost to Tien. And you're so thick-headed, Goku, aren't you?" "Exactly, Yamcha. I'm glad you get me." "Alright, Goku. Let's go." Then they walk into the big field. By the way, this was outdoors. Yamcha gets into his stance. So does Goku get into his. Obviously, Goku just. He's kinda hurting. Yamcha is keeping up with Goku, but is definitely not winning. Yamcha's definitely losing to Goku. He's getting blocked when Yamcha does one of his attacks. He even does a signature Wolf Fang Fist, and it still doesn't affect Goku. And at the end, Goku does his uses a really strong kick to go to Yamcha's stomach, which gets him down. I yield, Goku. You should really train more, Yamcha. You could probably rival me. Probably not that, Goku, since you train every single day, every single hour, and every single second. That's not true. I eat as well. And you also eat, Goku. Hmm. Then Yamcha thinks, maybe he could train. Maybe fix his. Maybe make his ki a bit cool looking. Maybe learn some new techniques for his Wolf Fang Fist. Or attacks. And then Yamcha just. Then Yamcha just keeps thinking and thinking while muttering about how he could, like, do that, but maybe that couldn't work. But he could still try. And just keeps talking and talking and talking in his mind and muttering. That is until Tian taps on the shoulder, and then Yamcha jumps. "What are you doing, Yamcha?" "Ah, nothing, Tian. Just thinking. I'm starting to think of what Goku said to me when we fought." "Like what?" "He told me to train more, and I might." "Really, Yamcha? I haven't seen you as a good person to train. You usually just like when people tell you to usually like when not to train. You like to have initial strength and then fight." I don't know. Goku's been making me think about stuff. "Well, if you need a training partner, I'm here, Yamcha. See ya." "See ya, Tien. Come on, Poor. Let's go." And Boar follows him, asking him how'd you feel about the party? It was good. They get into their car, and drive off. But then Yamcha, it clicks. All right, Boar, let's train. Then they get home, and Yamcha immediately gets off his bike and starts to train. He's he's using ki blasts more effectively. He even learns his controlling ball. Then we see Yamcha break a boulder with his fist, a really, really big boulder. It made his hand tremble a lot, so but he didn't. Yamcha, then we see Yamcha's fist glow, like his hands are glowing with ki, and then his hands start swirling. Then we see him move his hands, and you see his hands flowing like water, and then he claps his fist together like the Buddha, and then two glowing ki hands glow behind him, and then he moves the glowy hands in finger positions, his glowing hands, and then Yamcha puts his hand up, and then the ki hands shoot ki blast, and Yamcha shoots ki blast, and they blow up a couple boulders. Yamcha says, "That took forever." Whew. And took a lot out of me. I can take a break for today. Then, right, then we start the Dragon Ball Super. Then we start the Dragon Ball Z. Then we start Dragon Ball Z. Alright. Afterwards, Yamcha, Krillin tells them that they have to train. Hmm? Then Krillin comes to his house, knocks on his door, telling him that they have to train for the aliens. Aliens? Aliens. Goku's one. We fought one. Goku and Piccolo fought one. Piccolo? Yeah, Piccolo's on our side now, I guess. But he took Gohan. He took Gohan? Who's Gohan? Is Goku's kid? Goku had a kid? Yeah, this is a lot of new information. Just come on, Yamcha. Chi-Chi can explain it, and Bulma can explain it better than me. Well, yeah. And Krillin looks at him with a serious face. I see your point. Then they get, then they just start. Then Yamcha and Krillin get into Krillin's car, and they just drive off. Then they get to Chi-Chi's house, and Chi-Chi's freaking out. Her kid's missing. It's freaking her out. And Krillin and Yamcha says, "Well, if Piccolo fought with Goku, that means isn't he a good guy now?" And Chi-Chi looks at him with a scowl, like, "Are you kidding me? We don't know that. Are you kidding me, Yamcha? Are you a freaking idiot?" Nah, who am I kidding? You are an idiot. And she's freaking out at Yamcha, telling him that he's an idiot and dumb to think that Piccolo changed or anything. But Yamcha just thinks, well, he could change. It's not like he is Demon King Piccolo. He's Piccolo. Ah, Yamcha. Okay. Alright, Krillin. Let's go train. What about Master Roshi? Can't he train with us? Nah, he said he didn't want to. Isn't this is the fate of our planet? Yeah. I can't blame him. He's too old for that anyways. It's almost like 100, right? I think he's 120, right? I don't know. Then Yamcha, and then Yamcha Krillin sharing. Then eventually Yamcha sees the Kien's on, and Yamcha has to freaking block it with his ki hands. But then he breaks the ki's arm, and then makes it into two swords. He didn't even mean to do that, but he makes it into two pirate swords. And then Krillin goes like his face is completely shocked. Maybe that could work if I miss. If I miss, you could catch it, then turn them into swords and sneak them. And then Yamcha and Krillin then practice the technique over and over again until it's perfect down where Yamcha can catch it with one hand, turn it into a big sword, then split the two swords into one with two swords. And then he plays with the swords, and then they cut like big boulders. Yamcha cuts it a little, but Krillin helps with his ki and Zons. They also practice the Kamehameha a lot. Yamcha practice. Krillin learns the scatter Kamehameha, while Yamcha learns the the um, the a really strong Kamehameha, like a big beam Kamehameha, but it takes a whole lot out of him, like almost takes him out of the battle basically. So it's only a last resort if he's completely out of options. He has to pull that out. It's a really strong Kamehameha. You think of Gohan's um when Piccolo throws him against the pillar. It's that big. Yeah, obviously he's not as strong as Gohan because Gohan's just has so much potential more than Yamcha because he's a Saiyan, a hybrid, and he's gonna become the next main character. So for only like half of arc, but anyway, Yamcha and Krillin keep training until Piccolo shows up with Gohan, saying that the Saiyans are approaching. Those are what the aliens are called, Krillin? Why didn't you tell me? I gotta admit, Yamcha, I totally forgot. Yeah, okay. Let's go get Tion. Tion. Yeah. Who? The guy with an eye, three eyes. Oh, where is he? Then they head over there. Yeah, then they fly off to Tien. Then Tien says, "Y'all forgot about me?" Krillin just says, "Nope, I just thought you were training." Well, I was, but probably not as strong as you guys because you were fighting for the planet. But go on, Chatsu. Hmm? We gotta go fight some aliens. Okay. Then he hops out of his chair, heads out. Obviously, you can tell I can't do voices, so I have to state who it is. How we doing on time? We're doing great on time. Okay. So they go. They get there. They're all stanced up. Then Nappa says how weak they are. Then he says, "What a sight to see. The Earth, this backwater planet at least has warriors to fight for it." And he plants up Cybermen. Cybermen get planted, with Yamcha then doing his speech, but this time something different happens. The then the Cyberman tries to jump at Yamcha, but Yamcha cuts it in half with his bare hand. No key or anything, just his bare hand, which actually surprises Nappa, assuming that they'd be weak. But Yamcha's pretty strong, especially since he's been training longer than all the Z fighters. Basically, Tion and Yamcha are actually on par. So then more Cybermen jump at Yamcha, but Krillin helps Yamcha with his ki blast, and they all just jump. Then then more of the Cybermen get taken out by Krillin with his scatter Kamehameha, with Tion also helping, with Chaozu also helping, with Piccolo taking Mara out. Gohan being there, shooting some ki blasts. They take out a couple. He's not that strong yet. It only takes rage to get him. Then Nappa gets serious and says to fight him. So they get to scrapping. Of course, the scrap happen basically just recycled punches. Just think Dragon Ball. Basically, just original Dragon Ball. Think of original Dragon Ball Super Z. Basically, where they punch over and over again, and it looks the exact same. Sorry, I'm just really bad at explaining how it's working, but that's how it works. Wait, let me think. Okay. Then Krillin powers up his ki, and actually no, he doesn't. He doesn't. He's powering it up. Well, while Nappa, well Nappa and Nappa's fighting Yamcha and Chaozu and Tien and Piccolo, and go on from the back. And guess what happens? Yeah, they're getting bodied right now. They're getting clapped out. But Yamcha doesn't knows that he can still fight. He doesn't need to use his last resort. Alright, so Deku, what did I say? Deku? I'm kidding. I'm so used to saying his name. But, um, then Chaozu sacrifices himself, saying to avenge him, and then blowing himself up, which Tien takes very saddened to. And then he goes to swing at Nappa, who's still alive, and then he gets his arm cut off, and he screams out in pain, blood spurting everywhere. So Yamcha saves Tien. Then Krillin's ki ends in his charge, and then he throws it, which, yes, Nappa dodges barely, cutting a place in half, but it's still there, which Yamcha is there to catch, and then he makes it into a big blade, then lengthens the blade with his own ki, and then just goes striking towards Nappa. But Nappa catches it because he's just that strong, basically making his hands bleed. But he catches it, and he pushes the blade, which cuts into the ground. Then he immediately flies up to Yamcha, just punches him straight to the ground, basically making a big crater where Yamcha is. He's not dead until Nappa puts his foot on his head and slowly crushes it, which Yamcha is in a lot of pain. And then Piccolo tries to stop him, but Piccolo gets grabbed by the neck and just yeeted. And then afterwards, yeah, Nappa gets up, backs up, and then puts two fingers down, then brings it up, and then Yamcha just explodes, and the Yamcha dies. Then Tien tries to revenge him as well, but also gets punched in the stomach, and then blasted in the head. Not dying, actually, well, dying, but not getting his head exploded, and falls over in the same position he died in. Yeah, Yamcha did die in his meme pose, if you're wondering. Then Gohan is about to get hit by a big cannon by Nappa. Piccolo sacrifices himself, dying. And it's just Krillin Gohan until Goku appears, and then basically everything happens in canon. Goku kills Nap gets killed by Vegeta. Vegeta gets almost killed by Krillin, but Goku saves him, and then heads out. Then they have then we cut back to Yamcha, who just got to the other world, and is said, and then Kami, about to disappear, who's legit actively disappearing, says to King Yama, if Yamcha, Tien, and Piccolo show up, put them on King Kai's, and then disappears, which does frighten uh, King Yama. So he immediately snaps his fingers, bringing up Yamcha, Tien, and Piccolo, realizing they all died, and freaks out because they weren't supposed to die that early. So he burns the paper with his superpowers, which makes Tien, Yamcha, and Piccolo appear. Piccolo standing in a cool position. Tien waiting, looked like he's waiting in line. Yamcha also leading in line, but picks his nose. So he immediately hides it and says, yes, I'm gonna bring you to Kami's. Now travel the road. Oh, why? It was it was Kami's last wish before he disappeared. Yeah, makes sense. That was Tien and Yamcha looking towards Piccolo. Then Kami shows up with a halo over his head and does reiterate the fact that they need to go to Kikai's. Alright, now, Deku, well, no, Yamcha, well, they Piccolo, Yamcha, and Tien travel the brick road, talking. Piccolo's dead quiet and just flying. But Yamcha tries to strike up a conversation, but then just gets a death stare, and then just stops talking. And then eventually they start flying, and eventually they get the Ginkais. With it taking a bit for Yamcha and Tien to get used to the gravity. But Piccolo uh, is it's. But yeah, eventually they get used to it, and Kinkai asked if they wanted to learn Kaioken like Goku did. What's Kaioken? Oh yeah, you died before you could see that. Well, make me laugh first. Yeah, I forgot. And he scratches his head. Um, Yamcha just immediately trips over, falls, and then Kinkai laughs his ass off and says, well, I'll just train all of you because that thing was damn hilarious. And that's all Deku does. Okay, that's what Yamcha does. Then they train into the Kaioken. With Yamcha immediately telling as Piccolo like shrugs his head to not learn the Kaioken, to learn the Kaioken, but Piccolo still doesn't want to learn the Kaioken. Then they argue and bicker about him learning the Kaioken. Well, he doesn't learn the Kaioken, if you're wondering. But we then get a montage of Yamcha and Tien learning the Kaioken. You're like, dang, what was that build up about the whole big Kamehameha if Yamcha didn't even use it before he died? Just because you know a technique that can help doesn't mean you'll be able to use it in a battle. Basically like a super in any fighting game. It might happen, but doesn't mean it might not happen in your game while you're fighting. Like that. You don't really know when to use the super, but sometimes you just die before you could even use it. Yeah, basically like that. Yamcha learns the. I forgot how many Yeah, he knew Kaioken times 4. Let's say Yamcha and Tien learned Kaioken times 4, because they're pretty inept. Definitely hurts a lot more to them than Goku. So usually they just use 1 or 2. And 3 if they're pushing it, and 4 if they just want to kill themselves. Luckily they're already dead, so they still feel it still it still hurts when they use it, by the way. They still feel pain. Yamcha and Krillin. Well, no, Yamcha and Tien then get revived after a bit. Yamcha and Tien then get revived. Then Piccolo also gets revived, and they're like, "Hey, Piccolo," and then he just immediately disappears. Where'd he go? Later that day, Krillin, Gohan, and Piccolo show back up, and they're like, "What happened to you?" "We fought Frieza." "Who's Frieza?" "An alien." "An alien." "Another alien." How many aliens are we gonna fight? I'm gonna assume this is pretty often now. Great. Alright. Let's go find... Wait, where's Goku? He's fighting Frieza. By himself? Why are you worried? You don't even know how strong he is. If Goku's there alone, that means you guys were too weak to fight him. Hey, don't even talk, Piccolo. We both know you're way weaker than Goku now. And why is Vegeta here? And Vegeta shows up behind him. Okay, so I just saw something that was really annoying in a movie I'm watching right now, where a girl just got hit and then immediately assumed it was her, even though, how do you just assume someone hit you if they're farther from you and that hit came from downwards, not right next to your face? It was really frustrating if you're wondering. You probably weren't, but who cares? Yamcha? Yeah. Well, they then try to summon Yamcha to, they try to summon Goku back. Goku doesn't want to come back, which makes Yamcha mad a bit, but he doesn't talk about it. Well, a couple of years later, Yamcha gets a new haircut, and, wait, how are we doing on time? We're doing terrible on time. I'm kidding. Yamcha... What's Yamcha doing? Well, Yamcha's still training with Tien. He even learns a new technique. Yeah, it's the where he grows multiple arms like Tien. It's a pretty cool looking technique. So that means Tien gets uh, Triforce Wolf Fang Fist. That's what he calls it. Tien tells him it's a really dumb name. I don't know, it's the only name I can think of. But yeah, he learns the Tri-Fist Wolf Fang Fist. Well, then Vegeta shows up to both Tien and Yamcha's training session, telling them that Frieza's back. So the alien you guys fought a while back? Yes. Okay. And then they head out. Then Yamcha just immediately gets ready to scrap. He's not sitting around like everyone else. His hands are up and they're ready. And as soon as they land, and as soon as a couple of grunts show up, Yamcha wastes no time going into Kaioken and then kills multiple of them, killing another one with a freaking teleporting ki blast until Frieza tries to hit Yamcha, but he weaves it, then kicks Frieza in the face. Barely does anything to Frieza, by the way. So Frieza grabs Yamcha by the leg, throws him. But Yamcha grabs his thing to the hand, and then everyone gets surprised that Yamcha, the one who usually doesn't go in first, went in first. So they're all like, "Yamcha, what are you doing? If this guy almost killed Piccolo, he needs to die." So Yamcha then hits him with a Kaioken times 3, and then like burns his skin. That is until Frieza gets tired of this and shoots a ki blast that gets reflected by a mysterious figure who then stops Yamcha, telling him to chill. Chill, Yamcha. We got this. How do you know my... I got this. Okay. Then he powers down and then holds his arm, he holds his left arm like Vegeta and walks off. So like, they're all really surprised that Yamcha went in first. Even Vegeta and Bulma. Eventually, yeah. Then Trunks fights Frieza, kills him, and King Cole. Then Goku arrives, and then Goku and Vegeta, Trunks have a fight. You already know it's Trunks, but then Trunks explains that the two androids will appear two in 2 years, and they should be training as hard as possible to defeat him, and he'll be back in 2 years. Also, Goku catches this. Goku catches it, asking what it is. It's heart virus medicine. You contracted uh, in 2 years. Okay. So we're just gonna ignore the fact this guy definitely just traveled through time. Yep. Okay. Let's go. Well, that's where I'm gonna leave things right now. Wow, that was a really long part. Wow, I like this part. And I hope you liked it as well. See ya!